So today we're pleased to welcome Monica Carpendale, who is returning. And her topic this time is Explore Your Prayers and Personal Voice, a look at perception, metaphor, and essence. Sounds very intriguing.
Feel the group here, and I feel all the words that brought in, and this place of not knowing, and place of rebirth, place of that grace that you spoke of there this morning. After last time, and listening to everybody, the whole process here, I thought that one of the things that would be interesting to talk about is a philosophical method, and a philosophical method of phenomenology, and how that can move towards creating poems or prayers. Some of you may be familiar with phenomenology. For some, it may be one of those big, large 50-cent words. What is this? It's a philosophical method, been around, language around it for over 100 years, came out of Germany, but it really is a method, a way of trying to approach, to distill the truth, to find what the essence is. What is the essence of something? And in art therapy and in all aspects now of my teachings, I use kind of 5 key concepts. And I'm going to give you the very abbreviated version, and then we're going to go into an exercise, an activity, get you all engaged. We're going to do 2 activities, one which will create an individual poem, and one which will create a group prayer. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Gonna engage with me on this?
Yeah.
Good. So, phenomenology really, the essence is to try and get back to that sense of wonder, that place where we bracket out all the taken for grantedness of something, where we come back to that magic, where we're seeing something or somebody or an experience for the first time. And both of you, in your words this morning, have been speaking to that place of, let's see this for the first time. So phenomenology starts with the first concept is about description. And we're going to describe something. And we can describe anything. So a phenomena can be, it isn't just things, it could be a feeling, despair or hope or wonder, sadness. But it also could be candle, light, cup, table. That everything that presents itself to consciousness, God, the divine, presents itself to consciousness in some way, yeah? And so with the description, you're really trying to just describe what it is. And some of the phenomenologists use language like the whatness without which it would not be. We're holding a cup there, my dear. And if we were to describe that cup, how could we describe it so that we know for sure that it was a cup? You know, it's not, we take so many things for granted.
I was just thinking about, how do I describe cup without using the word cup?
Yes. And perhaps how do we give voice to if you were the cup? And how many different ways are cups used? And how might they, you know, you have, looks like here I'm using a hermeneutic. I'm observing that there is a string and a piece of paper coming out. I don't see, but if I go closer, it's likely to be attached to something. You're drinking tea, not coffee. I would hazard a guess. So there's an interpretive place, going from the description of what it is that we're seeing. So we start with the description, and the next step In order to describe something, we have to do what is called phenomenal, it's got all these big words, a reduction, an epoch, but basically it's bracketing out our assumptions. We might think, someone else might think this is a wine glass. She's got a wine glass. Or she's got a cup of sugar, or what else might it be? We have to bracket out all our assumptions, everything that comes to bear on a situation. All our biases, all our prejudice, what would a cup be used for?
Before we get too far, I love word and you use a word that long. I'm gonna go into, it was an assumption, but you use a.
Reduction,
No.
epoch?
It had 4 or 5 syllables.
Phenomenology?
No,
Hermeneutics?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Hermeneutics.
Uh-huh.
Hermeneutics is the study of interpretation. How do we make sense of things? Hermeneutics was originally used pertaining to the interpretation of the Bible. Because the Bible, the interpretation might be different from the writer to the reader. Okay? So you're always looking at how do we understand and interpret things. All phenomenology is hermeneutic, but all hermeneutics is not phenomenology. Okay? Hermeneutics. And hermeneutics, there's a term that's called the hermeneutic spiral. And that is a place, you know all these ideas. I'm using words, but you know these ideas. Don't think that this is something that you don't understand, because you go from the whole to the part, and the part to the whole, right? We have a whole group, and we have each of you as an individual. And when we're looking to study something, we might study, you asked for a word, and do stop me, because I do slide those words in, and then an interpretation is needed. So we can go into that word, and then we can expand it out and come back and put it back in the world, right? Is that, are you still with me?
Yeah.
Yeah? And what that means in terms of interpretation is that it is inexhaustible. There is always going to be more meaning possible, right? It's not like, oh, I can know this, you know? It's like Michael started this morning. Let's go back to that place where, no, we don't know. Where we're not knowing. And when I think of that with my students, and sometimes when I run into issues or dynamics with a student, you can't teach somebody who already knows everybody. You just can't.
the cup is full, we can't fill anymore.
Yeah, that's right. You can't do that. And so they have to be wanting and ready for that place where we're going to learn and to know. So are you with me? We'll go back to, we've got description, we've got bracketing assumptions, and when you're bracketing assumptions, you're really trying to get to wonder, to curiosity. You're going to bracket everything that you know. I'll give you an example in a few moments. Then the next one we'll call intentionality. So there's an intention to know or to relate. We do want to find the truth and the essence. Intentionality. There isn't any, like, I wouldn't be speaking if I wasn't intending to communicate to you. I absolutely want to communicate. And if it's not making sense, then stop me. So there's always an intention, there's always a direction in any of our language and our communication, everything that we do. And if we base that there is always intentionality. We may not know what it is, right? But there's always intentionality. Then there is what we would call, the word in German is das Sein, and it's being in the world. Context, being in the world. I am here, and I am in relationship to each of you. I am here, and I am in relationship to my family and my students and my community. They may not all be here right now, but I, like each of you, are embedded in all these circles. You're all in the world, right? And if we assume that everything's in the world, the cup is in the world, and it was in your hands, and it was warm, and there was an intention to drink. And then we have come down to the essence. The fifth concept is essence, where you're going to try and distill, well, what is the essence? Warmth, tea, cupness, sharing, what is it? And everybody might have a different one. So there are those, does that make sense? 5 concepts that one's looking at. And this can be, we're gonna do, yeah,
Would you repeat them just in order?
description,
Description.
we're gonna bracket assumptions.
Oh, okay, that's one of them.
That's one we could call it the reduction
Okay,
or bracketing assumptions.
okay.
I kind of like the action of it. Intentionality,
Intentionality,
being in the world, and essence. 5 things. Okay,
okay. All hands.
if I apply this therapeutically, because that's where a lot of my examples come from, I'm gonna describe a large boy, 13 years old, and he hit puberty when he was 7 or 8, so he's big, a little bit out of whack with his emotions and his sense of self. Okay, so I've given you a description. I've had a description from the school. They've said that he's an aggressive boy who's been putting other kids in a garbage can. Okay, I have to bracket out. I have to bracket out that this is an aggressive boy. I will take the description that he has put another child in a garbage can. Right? I need to come back and get more description of that situation, more of the context, because I am going to bracket out that this is a bad kid. I'm not going to help anybody if I think this is a bad kid. And I get the context more. Teacher's seen him do that, and basically, Ashley and Brett. Okay, Brett would really like to get to know you better. And you say, why don't you put Bo in the garbage can? And Brett goes, oh, okay, helped you up, put you in. He's not feeling that. He would like to get to know you better and be friends. So he's gonna do what you've suggested. This boy was walking down the hall, someone else suggested this, and he just did that as part of social peer wanting to connect. Okay, so we've got the intention. The intention is not aggression to put you in the garbage can. The intention is desire to connect. So if we come down and once we bracket the assumption, we distill it down to an essence that we have a large boy that doesn't know how to make friends and would like to have some social connection. Okay?
So bracketing the assumption is the reduction.
Is the reduction, yeah, so we reduce it down to the essence. So if we can apply that to everything that we do in our relationships and actually stay with the description, put it in context, consider the intention, bracket out, figure out what the assumptions are. Really often we have to name our assumptions in order to bracket them out. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's a phenomenology. So, I'm going to teach you how to do phenomenology. How about that? Okay? So part of what, and we're going to do a phenomenology
From phenomena, right?
from a phenomena. And we're going to do it, my friend, don't worry about it. We're going to play the lottery. We're going to do the lottery, okay? This is what my friend in Israel calls it when she loves this. We're going to do the lottery. And you're going to choose a word, okay? And when you get the word, you are going to go, we've got some paper and pens, and we're going to, you might be able to sit if you've got things to write on here, but otherwise at one of the tables. I'm going to invite you to free write. Free write means write whatever you're thinking for let's say 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. Write without stopping. Okay? and you write whatever comes into your mind. Now, as you said, you might write, if you got the word cup, you might write anything without calling it a cup. Could you describe this without calling it that? Or maybe you will call it that. Or maybe you would say, half a cup of this and a half a cup of that, and holder. Yes, you might call it a holder. But let whatever, there is not a right or a wrong thing to hear. The only thing is that you need to write. And if you don't know what to write, I don't know what to write until something comes into your head. What might come into your head might be sayings, might be words, might be fairy tales. I don't know what the larger context of your thought is. Just take pleasure and write, okay? And write. Got that? Any questions about the process, what we're gonna do? So we're gonna do, so you can choose a word, and I've purposely chosen, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to think that you were going to pop somebody in the garbage there.
That's quite all right.
Yes.
He's not attaching any meaning to it?
No.
Not at all.
Okay. We call this the lottery, and got you. Back. Okay. And I have purposely chosen very simple, straightforward words, because what we want to do is we're going to write about something that you take for granted, that is ordinary in your world often. And write, and give it its fullness. What is it? What is important about it? And don't think about it too much, don't worry it, because we'll do something else from that. You're gonna get a word to start with, you're gonna get a starter. You're gonna get a starter, that's all. I've been talking so much about it. Did you want something to write?
Black cup. Yes. Do we wait for your signal before we start writing, Monica?
You can start, that will give you a few minutes head start, but I will say, on your mark, set go in a minute.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
We just start describing the word you have.
Describe, write anything that comes to mind.
Karen, you want something right on there?
Yeah. So do you need a folder and some paper? You got? Oh, you don't like your, oh, then write down that you don't like your word. No, I don't. I could give you another word, but there are lots of things in life we don't like, so. Tell us all about what you don't like. Okay. Your word. Did you get a word? Oh, no.
It's you. It's you. How could I miss you?
Work with that. And I'll tell, on your mark, get set, go. That's a word, or there's more, if you want from my bigger pile, you can, sorry, I didn't mean to.
So we just write about it?
Are you good with that word?
Yes.
Okay. So just free write, whatever comes to mind from it, write it in sentences or single bits, however, your thoughts, what is it? What's the essence of this? Do fairy tales come to mind? Do other things? How does it get used? Just keep writing. things about free writing is that you don't want it ever to go on so long that you feel like, oh, you know, you're stopping and wondering what to do. You write for 3 minutes, you can set yourself for 5 minutes, but never more than 10. Right? Just free write on something so that you're just distilling. Now I want you to read back through what you've written and underline anything, any word or phrase that you think has a little bit of juice in it, a little bit of interest or excitement, something that might mean something, something where there might be a horizon that it opens up to something else. What does that? You might underline the whole thing, and you might underline one word. Read it through and see if there's any juice in what you've written.
What if we digress and it's no longer relevant to the,
Don't worry about that. I just want juice. At this point,
Alright.
I want spirit. What's exciting about that? Digression is great, Rivière. Don't worry. You can't do anything wrong here.
You said you can't use the
You
word
can,
itself.
you can use the word.
You
You
can.
can use the word. Again, you can't do anything wrong. Some people might do it like a riddle without, and some people might do it, you know, I got frying pan, and I just started out in and out of the frying pan. You know, it's like, yeah. So however you did it, okay? Once you've got your essence, I'll give you another minute, you've got some essence? Okay, you got some essence, I want you to take those words of essence, and you have like a couple of minutes, distill that into a little poem, or a little prayer. Just a little piece there, and if you've never written poetry before or prayers, think about the line of the poem or the line of the prayer as the length of your breath.
But you have to use the word, right?
Oh, don't have to do anything again, if you don't want to.
So you don't have to include the actual word?
No,
Just the essence?
what's the essence? Just what the essence is. Okay? And your line is the length of your breath, where you would take a breath, pause, say something else. Okay? You can use other words too.
done or we must go until we say
Oh, you can be done.
done?
Do anything be done with it. There can do no wrong.
Absolutely. I got lost myself there. Absolutely, you can be done. Did you discover anything? Were there any surprises?
Yeah.
Yeah? Anybody like to read what they've written?
Yeah, I can read
Yeah.
the first part of the poem.
Okay.
Soup, breathing in the steam of heat.
Can you very well? Can you speak louder?
Soup, breathing in the steam of heat. Vegetable broth or what from a tin? No, that won't do. From scratch, it can't be beat.
Yes. Lovely.
I'll read mine.
Yes.
No, it's really cool that all this happened. Mellow surrendering deep in a forest meadow upon a hill in autumn I am, feeling the smell of dried straw and colored leaves, a smell of smoke and tea, a simple life.
What was your word?
Nice.
Broom.
Okay.
I would like to read mine.
Go for
Karen?
Everyone
ahead.
is ready. We've got a lot of poets here.
Not really. So grateful for pepper, all kinds of pepper. Red hot pepper makes life more fun and exciting. It can bite, it can comfort, and it can satisfy. Okay, cool. 3 guesses what my word was.
Pepper.
From a blanket, I went to a carpet, and a flying one at that. So freeing it is to digress, to go anywhere I want on my carpet. That was holy, is now holy, carrying me to place I didn't dare think in my already set mind of deservedness. Thank you, magic blanket, magic carpet, for the freedom you bring me.
We're going to bed.
Blanket.
And you went right off. I mean, that's a beautiful example. I mean, look at the imagination here. Oh, yes.
Okay, a kettle. And I wrote, a kettle is important. Years ago, my father told me I would never make a good cook unless the kettle was full on the stove and hot on the old wood coal stove. So years later, I am old-fashioned. I have a kettle. I like to keep it on my stove and is ready to put fresh cold water in and make a cup of tea. The memory of a kettle is important and how I like tea and offering visitors a cup. The tea helps me create something that is nurturing and social. So the poem was, a good cook keeps your kettle full, thus nurturing her visitors using social ritual. May your kettle always be full. So from something that was really derogatory as a kid, you know,
Yes.
it turned out to be beautiful.
Yes, yes.
So, sitting tall on tabletop, waiting for the hand that fits just right, the hand that lifts it wholly into service, filled with freshness, alive with sparkle, holding the flow until just the right moment. Jug.
But what honor you give a jug,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. My favorite piece of cutlery, a blessed savory utensil. What a wonderful device for soup consumption. A tea and honey flowing container to eat, slurp, scoop, and be with. After lunch, I can play games and sip warm tea on a cool winter day. Spoon.
Spoon. Nice.
These are amazing. Mine's not really that poetic. I had a word and wrote quite a bit about 2 meanings that came to my mind, but it just came down to 1 sentence.
Okay.
He. That which can provide humans with nourishment, using 2 completely different meanings. And the word is pot.
That's what the area you're from.
Yes. Thank you. A distillation, in essence, yes.
I am proud to be a fork
peaceful. I like being on a trip back and forth from the table to the house. And as food is being piled on top of me, and I take another trip back and forth, back and forth.
My word that I had was salt, and what I came up with was salt is to float, is to relax, is to unite, connect, and grow. Be here. That's it.
Very powerful metaphor, salt. It's, many fairy tales have been written around the value of salt. Lessons, yeah, it's beautiful.
I misunderstood. I thought it had to be just like in one breath, like just a sentence. So my word was bowl, and empty births life to embrace all.
Bull or bowl?
Bowl. So empty births life to embrace all.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And there, I was not probably clear enough, but now you probably get a sense of this, and that's perfectly fine. There isn't a right or a wrong way. It's a,
There isn't, like in the future, if I want to do this, you can continue?
you could,
Okay.
yes.
I think I heard you say a line was worth of maybe for one breath.
It would be in that sense
you could
of
have
here,
more lines.
like, yeah, you could have more lines. It's like, I wrote a whole lot of things here, and then, it, like it's a line of a poem. You know, sometimes people don't know, well, how do I know? Do I have to rhythm it, or do I have to rhyme it, or how do I do? Breathe in and out, in and out. In and out of my heart, breathe in and out. We could repeat it. Breathe in and out, a rhythm of my heart. Memories move in and out, a long time, a short time. A felt sense, strong, heavy, useful, capable of holding, so that each line is that way. To make, to heat, to place on the heart. Dangerous. To scare bears off, to make noise, to bang, to make food for the body and food for the soul. A memory, to place at the heart. So just different ways that you can work with it. Not to worry.
What was your flying pan?
Yes, a frying pan, in and out of the frying pan. Yeah, okay. And don't feel, if you don't want to read, you don't have to, but I just want to give opportunity if you'd like.
Okay, my word was spoon. Spoon. A useful man-made utensil. One giant spoon, a slide it could be. And for fun, two spoons can fit together well.
That's spoon, yes.
I was more making song.
Good, lovely.
Empty full, empty full. Het is the word is jar. Empty full, closed, closed, closed. Holding essential, holding essential, holding essential. Empty, empty, heart.
Thank you, lovely.
That's a hard act to follow.
Or maybe we have to sing the chorus.
My word is mop.
Sorry.
Mop?
Mop, yeah, you know what.
Oh, mop, nice.
I didn't have to say anything. I need a mop to clean up my heart and mind and make all the bad programming go pop.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Or Or you need to come to Bo's workshop.
Thanks. Anyone else?
Okay, my word is pale.
To bail?
Pail.
Like a bucket.
Bucket,
Bucket.
pale. Teach me to expand out and in, and to live life within thy purpose for me. And it took a while to evolve to that, but it did.
Basements can be hiding places. They can give support and stabilize. They can be a home for a rat, and I am a rat in Chinese astrology. Be decorated and have light and flowers, or be scenes where horrible abuse takes place. Let us light up and make the basement part of our home.
What was the word?
Basement.
A basement. Oh, rats, rats can live in basements. I am a rat.
And you had a word you didn't like.
Yes.
And how was it like to work with a word you didn't like?
I don't know if I really want to
What
read
was
my
the
poem.
word?
You don't want to read it?
Well, because I got kind of gory at the end, because I
Okay.
didn't like it. It was a knife. And
Exciting.
I
A knife.
just, yeah, knife.
You're welcome to read or to not read, whichever you prefer.
Come on.
Well, I'll leave the gory part out.
Okay.
Censoring it.
We don't like them censored.
Fun. We've got murder mystery fans here.
What was the word?
Knife, okay? I'm a knife, large and bold, contented once, but now I sadly fear no popularity with you, my owner. Prefer spoons, you say? My heart feels cold. I shed a tear, prefer it was your blood.
Nice.
That was very courageous to read that.
That's good.
Absolutely, that really cut to the knife, cut to the chase, really right there. I'll tell you, I did this exercise with a group of, in the First Nations College in Merritt. And what I used for words there, because sometimes I use ordinary things, sometimes weather, sometimes we used animals. And a woman, and I used all animals from their territory. She got the word snake. And she wanted to give it back to me. She said, I don't like this word, I don't like snakes. And I said, oh, that they were these were all training to be counselors. I said, oh my goodness, you don't like a you don't like a client, or you don't like their issues. You're just going to say, I'm not going to work with you because I don't like your issues. You know, her eyes were big at me, and she said, oh, right. I said, right, I don't like snakes or whatever. She wrote a great poem, and when she read it, I got everybody to help her in the chorus, and the chorus was, and I don't like snakes, you know, and she got through that, but it was, it can be very cathartic. It's all right, you don't like it, you're going to use it. Knives are dangerous, yeah, and yet maybe we need to cut something, maybe we need them for something.
It's a great point.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for that.
yeah, and thank you for the edge. You brought some edginess to it. It's good.
The cup.
Are you gonna do this all the time?
I'm sorry.
They're just pouring out of you.
Well, being an art therapist is essentially being a metaphortician.
Okay.
You need to be able to play and work with metaphor. We need to be able to hear and see that, to reframe, to continually move on, to have every single word or phrase open up into new places where we're going to see, whether it's in image or in language or in the heart. So, metaphor, that's where I'm working with always.
I want to say one thing about this, which is really interesting to me, is that I was very, very logical because I had brooms. So I was like, oh yes, cleaning and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, there's a whole other thing that wasn't logical at all.
Yes.
It was emotional.
Yes.
And I just went into that.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, I was surprised
What was your
myself.
word?
Broom.
Yeah, and I thought of that. I thought, what a wonderful interpretation. I mean, I would think a quick getaway, you know, keep the broom by the door.
Right.
I like
Yeah.
Well, and I could have given each of you the same word, and we would have had all really different poems and doing that, you know.
Oh, there were two the same.
There was two, yes.
Yeah.
It's because I was writing them down and I forgot that I wrote them down. I was trying to get them
That
down.
was good, it was good.
Yes, it was good to hear that, isn't it? Yeah. But you see,
I was gonna say, thanks for bringing us all out.
Yeah.
That was good.
that's good.
To actually write something and speak it out. I'm a sub-teacher up at the Waldorf School, and so just now being, you know what I mean, like just being on this side, it just felt so good and easy and natural to get up there.
Yes.
Because it's not that easy, even though I can be at the front teaching, it's not that easy to share when I'm a student, so thank you.
What I found, I call this is my phenomenological method for writing poetry. And I don't know how many, probably all of you thought you were poets before this. But easily half of you didn't. But you've written poetry that's touched everybody. Everybody's resonated with everyone else's. So if we take it apart in that way, we can distill. And phenomenology is essentially a writing practice, philosophical practice to distill essence. And that you're going to get to that essence, the truth, via intuition, not via scientific rational deduction, via intuition.
That's exactly.
Yes, and you do it, and you brought it to a song. Yes,
I have been hearing the song and I hear the
yes,
open close.
yes. Okay, well, maybe that will be the song. So we'll do a group prayer, poems and prayers. Leave.
I
Yeah.
have thankful song, if you wanted to use it, I don't know.
You know
Let's
what?
first do this.
I am going to
Do that
to take us around, and you're going to be, we'll have you maybe do it right at the end as part of it, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna generate, and you're gonna take off on what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it as a gratitude,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it is thankfulness song.
yes, a thankfulness.
Yeah.
So what we are thankful for, I am thankful for, or you can start with, I am thankful for, or I am grateful for. So we could do, I am thankful or grateful for, and there are different variations. I think what we'll do with this version is that you will just add your line, and it will go around, and you will get to do a takeoff on everything that everybody is thankful for. So you're going to pull that in, okay?
And
Or do you want
I
to
would
sing it as
invite
chorus?
other people to sing with me.
Okay.
It is very easy to sing it.
Okay, so we could do this. I could say, I am thankful for the sun. And we could do it where we just go and you would say, I'm thankful, what you were and we could add it. Or we could do it, I am thankful for the sun, and you could sing that back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so it just seems very simple. I am thankful for all of you, and I am thankful for the sun.
I am thankful for all of you, and I am thankful for the sun.
I am thankful for my heart.
I am thankful for my heart.
I am thankful for circle.
I am thankful for circle.
Thankful to life.
I am thankful for life.
I am thankful for this unified field.
I am thankful for this unified field.
I am thankful for the Creator.
I am thankful for the Creator.
I am thankful for light.
I am thankful for light.
I'm thankful for awake and awareness.
I am thankful for awake and awareness. I am thankful for the privilege to talk to my mom every day. I am thankful for the privilege to talk to my mother every day.
If you,
For all the
you have to
presents.
look at the rain out there in the sunlight.
It's getting brighter and brighter.
Isn't it rain?
Well,
See, you can see.
Go ahead.
There's invisible
I'm
rainbow.
thankful for all the presents of you.
I'm thankful for the presence of unity.
I am thankful for colored leaves.
I am thankful for colored leaves.
I'm thankful for good health.
I am thankful for good health.
I'm thankful for Skype.
I am thankful for
Skype.
I'm thankful for love.
I am thankful for love.
I'm thankful for the great mystery within us and around us.
I am thankful for the great mystery within us and around us.
I'm thankful for life.
I am thankful for life.
I am thankful for life.
I am thankful. I am thankful for heartfelt joy.
I am thankful for heartfelt joy.
Do you want to have to thank for something?
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, that you let me go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, that you let me go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, that you let me go. Being married to God, being married to God, and pregnant with myself, and pregnant with myself. This song happened in Caribbean where the natives have been asking to whom you are married. And I was saying this. And so I started to sing it. It is the Madame Dietrich song that was sang in Germany. You know, this melody that is used. Yeah, it was Madame Dietrich, the very famous actor. And she probably sang it in German. And so I was using the song.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for inspiration.
Yeah.
Done? We're done. Any questions?
Do you want to tell us
Monica?
a little bit about yourself? I just scraped.
You're allowed to
Oh,
say
it's okay.
Time
Time
for straight.
You
Can all
Downstairs, hello?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not protecting the floor.
They can't, no, they can't hear downstairs. They're done. And they're great big tables, and they sit around this great big table, and so somebody's scraping up here, nobody can hear what somebody at the other side of the table is
Gotcha.
saying, so they come up and they're really not very happy.
And they're done at 11:30.
At 11:30 they're done.
Nice.
So we can take notes.
You can scrape all you want now.
Do you want to, are there anything else? Yes, and I apologize, I didn't introduce myself at the beginning, but I've been here in the fall sometime. I'm an art therapist, and I direct the art therapy training program in town, so we've been doing this for the program, the training program's been happening for 20 years, so I've been working for 30 years. I used to teach alternative schools, and then I trained as an art therapist. And
And you
I've
gave
written-
birth to that school. It was you.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did give birth to that school. And I continually birthing and rebirthing and developing it in different ways. We have a campus program, we have a distance program, we have currently about 28 students doing coursework and supervision, and another 10 still working on their thesis. I have students that come from Labrador, Nova Scotia, the Yukon, right across Canada that come here for intensives and go back. We're trying to change the world via health and healing, creativity, the imagination, stretching that frame and doing that.
Art therapy is so powerful, so powerful.
It is.
I did it for years.
Yes.
I love it, yeah.
Okay. So I'm training therapists these days, is what I'm doing, and we're starting an initiative to have a more Indigenous art therapy stream, a training program stream, although out of 60 graduates, if we have 60 diplomas, I've got 12 of those are Indigenous, so that's, a fifth of my graduates have been successful graduates in the program, so that's a pretty high percentage in a graduate level school. We're the only graduate level program around here. I mean, we have undergraduate schools here.
How long is the program?
It's a 2-year.
That's all? Wow.
2 years.
Wow.
And we provide services in the community.
You are changing the world.
Yeah.
I think you can remove trying.
I would say many of my friends have gone through the art therapy school,
Me
and they've changed their lives.
Yeah.
And
Just-
they affect people.
Yeah,
around.
and it's a ripple effect.
Yes, it's a big ripple effect.
Yes,
We're
Well,
really proud of you, Monica.
Yeah, take
I love my community and I love the world, and this is the way that I feel that I can contribute. I think one of my new concerns, it's interesting when I think about it, it's both a new and an old concern, because I know when I root it back as a teenager, I was involved in SPEC and the environmental issues and canoeing back in Port Moody and taking pictures of those, all the polluting in the water. Does this go this way?
Yeah.
But now I'm really looking at how we can involve the eco art therapy and nature-based art therapy, and that we need to be looking at the impact that what's happening in the environment has psychologically on everyone, and particularly our young people. And so that's another area in terms of looking at identity. So I'm training and doing
What's the name of the school and the program?
It's the Kootenays Art Therapy Institute. I probably have business cards in my purse if you would like. We're down on Baker Street. We've moved up to a big space. We have 350 square feet, studios. We have open studios. We do summer school. Students do practica. They work seniors, disability, mental health issues, addictions, hot house in the schools. I actually can't I had a job for an art therapist that it's taken me 3 weeks to find somebody that can fill it. And we've been graduating art therapists here for, quite some years. So the more that we do, the more work there is. That's what seems to be happening.
They're just being fielded out to the world.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have been one time, once upon a time,
That's really awesome.
reflecting in you all day. And I was also offering whatever I was have to offer. And I never forget it.
Yes.
I was there with some student that was needing help,
Yes.
and it was incredible day. I was able to express whatever was possible.
Yes.
So it is, I can feel it through your aura and through your vibrations.
think we need more elders in our program too, in different ways. And
Okay,
this
so I might sometimes come.
yes, I think that this is an area that I'm becoming more and more aware of.
I would like to give you something for the school after. I would like to give you the book, for it is singing book.
Ah,
And so that book for your school.
I think I have your CD.
I have been a little bit spreading around. But
I think I've had it for years.
I can give you the book for available
I'd love it.
for all those
Thanks.
students. I will give it to
Thank you.
I have it with me. If anyone needs the book, there was also a radio show, and this week was coming out Thursday from 1 to 2, but it will be in 2 days on computer. You can get it in Kootenays radio, Kootenays Co-op radio, and you can dash intuitive speaking.
Intuitive speaking?
Intuitive speaking, that is the woman that found the book somewhere in Attic or somewhere and she couldn't sleep. So she found me and she put us on the radio. And so that the show is, what the people are giving me feedback on the show, is the singing to the heart. It is the message, major message they have been asking me, what kind of messages to sing all the time, or hum, or hear the inner sound. Okay, so anyway, I have still here the books today if you want to.
Okay,
So that's it.
so let's start reading our Course in Miracles cards. And